town, that's gonna be a little,
Well, if you look at it, at the problems out here, it's right there on the edge of the street.
it's right on that, yeah, right out on.
Hopefully that's all the problem is, but.
Hopefully that's not one of their
he
new
needs to-
streets.
But he's also gonna take the front of the guy's driveway up
Yeah, where
the
there's a
plate was,
depression there, there's gotta be
and he's gonna straighten up that intake and put it in right so they can mow
Alright.
over it. Not sure why that big intake got bent over like that.
So they must have hit it with something.
It's one of those things, I drive by Dave Fulkerson in his yard every day, and it's like, he finally stopped me.
Yeah. Why is this like this? Well, I mean, I guess under some normal.
Please enter your participant or moderator.
But when you get the lease go away, you know, half-ass decent amount.
Please say your name, followed by the pound key.
Well, are we ready?
Looks like,
Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Consider for approval minutes and agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion Derby, second from Smith, to approve the minutes and agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consider for approval signing agreement with ISAC HIPAA program.
Let's just look at this one. That's it. We're gonna put up a sign.
Approval of a sign agreement.
Approval, signing agreement.
Yeah,
Put up signs everywhere.
You can get rid of all of that if you wanted to down the.
No, it's just this one.
table.
Just blocking the flow.
Hmm.
We try to be efficient.
yeah. Make sure we got enough elbow room to do our work here, right? So is this something we, sign every year?
Yes.
The last couple of years, we just started, what, 2-3 years ago?
Like 4 now.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like I can remember something like this reoccurring, but
It's $1,750
Sounds right.
annual fee.
what do they have, like online classes then, or?
Yep.
And it's mandated. We just had to pick who we were gonna do it.
I'll make a motion to approve the signing agreement for ISAC HIPAA program.
I'll second it.
Motion Smith and second from Derby to approve the ISAC HIPAA program. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I sometimes wonder how many different directions can they keep coming in. I mean, at some point, haven't we talked about it all?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, do we need to stamp this approved, or
You just need to sign it.
just sign it here? County by, I assume is me.
Mhm. Yes.
Okay, consider for approval OCIO MOU for enhanced security services.
That would be Brody.
Presence is required, you're up to bat.
Thank you. Well, this is
Okay, so the OCIO, the Office of the Information Security Officer, and it's a state program. They basically right now they have software on all of our computers that it's called EDR, Endpoint Detection and Response. So it's more than antivirus. It's looking for like anomalies that, you know, this doesn't seem normal for this computer, and then it can quarantine that computer if there's an issue to hopefully prevent the spread of ransomware and things like that. So that's a program we participate in right now. They're switching the software to a new security software that's supposed to be, you know, the latest and greatest. So basically they're asking all the counties that want to participate to sign this MOU. So that they're just covered by whatever. So I don't know if you guys want to take a look at that.
Is that a state that just pays for that?
Yep, the state pays for it. We don't pay anything. And it's monitored 24/7 by a security operations center in Des Moines.
That's better than we can do.
Yeah, I can't do that. That's for sure. Well, maybe I could. I'm not going to.
I was just gonna say, maybe we'll start requiring you to.
24/7?
Sleep is overrated.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's what I have, and I just either need it signed or authorized to sign it.
Well, I guess I would make a motion to authorize Brody to sign the Enhanced Security Services Agreement.
I'll second.
Motion Derby and a second from Smith to approve Brody to sign the OCIO MOU for enhanced security services. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, thank you.
Thanks, Brody.
Scott Minders, engineer, will discuss secondary road matters. Let's see, I gotta pick it up, right?
Yep.
Forgot.
Have to pick it up.
7530.
Still the same number.
Yeah, well,
Hasn't changed.
it's been a while since I thought about it, like a week or so it's.
I'm sure you'll be thinking about it.
Is Scott there? All right, we'll put him on the back burner then. All right, thank you. He's out looking at a tile repair, and we'll be back in a little bit. So we'll move on to, let's see, something that doesn't have time on it here.
You want to do 13?
Consider for approval adding hotel policy to employee handbook.
Do you want to call Chris in for that? I think she's.
7511. Chris, we need you for the employee handbook thing,
And drainage.
and drainage probably.
And
Okay, bye.
drainage. And drainage. And
Yeah, when I was gonna say, we got all kinds of drainage.
That's why AJ's here. Drainage.
Yes,
Yeah,
the matters are very pressing. Very pressing.
You didn't bring,
I'm glad things are flowing along the way they are.
you didn't bring the
yes,
booze.
yeah. And I have noticed that it goes downhill.
Yes,
It goes uphill too.
and going
Sometimes.
to the north, which only happens in Winnebago County.
So Chris, the hotel policy on the handbook,
Okay.
you want just a quick overview and
Do you have that?
No.
No?
we tried.
We talked about it last
Yeah, we
week.
went
so
over
we're-
it and about
We're
the,
aware.
They don't have that policy in place at the hotel
Yeah, if they don't
for the
go to a
trafficking.
hotel for the trafficking, that if they're not certified, they would then have to pay for it themselves. So we needed to adopt that into our policies also to make sure that our employees don't go to a hotel that's not certified.
I'll make a motion to insert into the policy handbook that we ensure that any hotels that are reimbursed by the county be certified as to anti-trafficking.
And the department head has to fill out that
Oh,
form.
and what you said.
And what you said.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Motion from Derby, and a second from Smith for the hotel policy employee handbook changes as stated. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
We'll wait on.
Aye.
We're just picking off things we could.
Got it. I just couldn't find it.
Now we can go back to drainage.
All right, auditor's office will discuss drainage matters.
I will allow you to do that.
Will you? Thank you, I just appreciate it when I get permission.
I don't have anything
Going on?
other than that sweater.
Oh, we can talk about DD 28 a little bit, that problem in Thompson. Jeremy was there probably for 2.5 hours yesterday, walking through the streets and using his wires, following the line. He's pretty good at that.
Okay.
And putting in markings so they can do locations, and he's gonna try and, since everything else is really wet, he's gonna try and get in there and get that one identified where the problem is.
I do have one, I guess. DD 48. There is a tile that's broken, but it's near a wind tower substation. And the wind towers will not allow the tower to be shut down to fix it. So I don't know what needs to happen there.
Where is
I guess
that at now again?
Matt Harms has been trying for a couple of years.
Is that the Crystal Lake project,
Yeah, it's down.
Grant Township?
Yep. It's right on Grant and Forest. And evidently Matt has tried a couple times. He's done the one call and everything, but the wind towers are like, no, we can't shut this down.
So he's afraid of digging it and possibly.
They are afraid of him digging and possibly
afraid of
hitting something.
digging And possibly getting electrocuted or whatever.
Or damaging something.
Well, yeah, but part of the agreement is that our drainage shall not be affected.
But these were in first. I don't know if we had that agreement with the Crystal Lake wind power. I think we had it with the future ones. So, because these have been in there for a long time. So I'm not sure. And Matt said the other day that they do shut them down maybe once a year to do maintenance or whatever.
Well,
But I don't know
they
how we
shut-
would know that.
They have many days where they'll have all the turbines going except for just a couple of them, and there's gotta be a couple days where they could shut, they only have to shut one down or the whole field down.
That I don't know.
Now, the whole field, I almost give it to them,
Yeah.
but,
Whose property is it on?
The petition's back in my office. I don't remember. There was a couple people that have called on it.
there's,
Was that the Siemens?
Siemens.
Yes. Yep.
that's down towards Hancock County. We always have trouble when we get close to Hancock.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, it's, help you out there.
Can I quote you on
Yep.
that? All right, thank
As
you.
long as the picture you use on the radio has my tongue in my cheek.
Exactly, no problem.
Just make sure when you say it on the radio, you go like this.
Excellent, yes.
Everybody sees.
Visual aids, we do those all the time.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how they can not, because drainage law says you shall maintain, and that's what it requires, you shall maintain. I can't understand how they can
Well,
say it's
I
not.
don't know who we would have to talk to even.
Well, wouldn't it be the land owner that the that the problem is on, and also whoever leases that windmill that there is in discussion.
I would think so. Matt just said that he's had a heck of a time, that they said that he won't shut it down. I don't know who he's talked to. But I'm just afraid, it's gonna become a bigger problem.
Certainly over the years.
Yeah.
Well,
Is this something that we,
I'd have to talk to Ben about that.
yeah.
Well, he said the hole's already, like we could fit a truck in there.
So it's kind of getting to the point of dangerous.
Yes.
And if he's not able to farm it or whatever,
or,
it might be a discussion for another day
all
or
right,
later, but
Well, it is time.
before should we contact EDA or whatever, as far as, I would assume that they possibly had something like this come up before, so we can have something to back us up when we call them and tell them, says, hey, this is the way it's happened in the past.
maybe, yeah. I could try that.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll move on to 9:15 a.m. public hearing and approval of joint DD 4979 main ditch, lat 1 ditch, lat 1 tile, lat 1A tile, and lat 1B tile updated reclassification reports. Anybody want me to repeat that?
Motion to opening.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for joint DD 4979 main ditch. Motion from Genfeld and a second from Rayhans to open the public hearing for approval of the joint DD 4979 main ditch. We don't need a roll call for that, do we?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Public hearing is open.
I can just give a real quick summary on why we're here. Scott, your secondary roads engineer, reviewed a lot of reclassifications, and he felt that secondary roads was given a disproportionate share of the benefits. We reviewed his comments in his letter and agreed with him on most of the districts. So what you have in front of you, or I can give you a copy, is 49-79. All we've changed is the benefit points in secondary roads. Everything else in the original report stays the same, but it gets them to a more manageable amount of benefit, which is appropriate. I took that responsibility. I've technically retired, but have been called back in to work on this, and I'm available by phone anytime. That's really it. Not every district was affected adversely, but several were. You can see from your list which ones were. And it happened whenever a town was involved, because we distributed the points differently when towns were involved, and it hit secondary roads unfairly. So I have copies of that report if anybody's interested.
Has this come up in other counties?
No. And I've thought about that, and I think it's mostly because secondary roads budgets are just adjusted to take care of the drainage levies, so they don't make a big deal about it. So we have adjusted how we do the system, and this cannot happen again and won't happen again. So this is to clean up that on these districts that are listed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Other than it gets it out of the secondary roads budget.
Well, lessens it.
Yeah, lessens it.
Yeah.
I mean, one way or the other, it'll get paid for by basically the same people. in a
Yes.
sense.
Yes.
It's just kind of changing around where it
Yes.
comes from, I guess.
Yeah, if you study just the secondary roads part of it, they really were paying exorbitant share. So this will correct it.
Any other questions on, or comments?
Did we have any submitted? Did you guys have any submitted?
I had a lot of calls, but once I explained what was happening, people were fine.
Well, I've talked to a lot of people that have called me about it. And once I explain it, they're, just like you said.
Most just wanted to make sure they didn't owe any money.
Yeah,
Yeah, once you tell them no, they're not being charged anything, that,
well, most of the districts that are involved here were all recently, in recent history, reclassified.
yes.
Yeah, so
In the last 3 years.
there wasn't a huge expense to it all.
No. No, we're absorbing all the costs to get this done. Just feel that's only fair. It's only my time and Colin's time, no charge. Printing, no charge.
Thank you for your support.
You bet.
This is what it takes to get to see you every now and then. Now.
I have missed coming over here.
Yeah,
I'll move to close public forum.
I'll second it. Motion from Rayhans and second from Jensvold to close the public hearing for joint DD 4979 main ditch. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay,
Need to,
so I suppose you,
confer.
technically it's not on there, but,
Yeah, it is. It says public hearing and approval.
and approved, okay. All right. So then I'll make a motion to approve the reclassification of joint DD 4979 as stated.
I can second it.
Motion from Jensvold and second from Talak to approve the joint DD 4979 main ditch reclassification. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes. Well, technically, we have a couple minutes. Anybody have any pleasantries they want to exchange? Or?
How much rain did you get here?
I signed it at 3 in Lake Mills.
Say 2 to 4 generally.
Okay.
I would say we probably have a little over 4. What was that?
Yeah, that's this one.
I had a little over 3 on the gauge.
We had a little over 3 on the first one and 9/10 on the second one.
Oh, geez.
But you'll be happy to know that DD 11 improvement is
Yeah.
only about this deep.
Oh, really?
So drying things out upstream must have come downstream.
Good.
Definitely a good case scenario that by drying it out ahead of time,
Yeah.
Good deal.
got that sponge to absorb it.
Excellent.
And you had explained to me that things like that had happened in other projects that you guys did in other counties.
Yeah. We've been so
And there
many
were some
times.
skeptical on whether that would be true or not. I'm sure glad it worked out the way it did.
Oh, you and me both.
Yeah.
Some people just won't believe you no matter what.
Well,
We estimated we've done, in the last few years, 150 some reclassifications.
The water's nothing.
I was telling Chris, I had my first one appealed to
Oh, yeah,
court.
down, they had like
City of Clear Lake appealed to
disaster. They got
Out of
the pumps going
150 some, this is our first, so I think that's not too
Oh,
bad.
this is terrible. And our
Well,
land
that
too.
DD 11 is now showing which laterals are not working right.
Sure it was, you bet.
Just waiting for him to come in and identify those.
Just came, you know,
Just to sit next to you. Yeah, sure, I'll sign, no problem.
We're gonna be here. And now we got. Lot of them.
I feel like,
Yeah, definitely.
okay, all right.
You know.
Now I know where I stand. Thanks.
It isn't this, there's no confidence.
I know you'd rather be in your office.
Right?
Well, it
Right?
keeps that square place within.
Was that the one that got you?
That's the one that. See, when I come so fast, and before I pass, we can, you know, you guys are out front in the afternoon.
Oh,
because it happened.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Well, we'll see.
Last week, yes.
Yeah.
Then
Changing.
we had,
Okay, it's 9:25 a.m.
I had,
We can move on to a public hearing for approval
on my truck.
of joint DD 68-136 main ditch and lat 2 ditch updated reclassification reports.
Better than yesterday, worse than tomorrow.
Have a good day.
Chris, where is
They asked.
68 at?
That is up northwest,
Northwest, okay.
up by Rake.
So that's what Kasuth?
Oh, there it is.
It's the one, it actually dumps into DD 21.
on the bottom where it's got, oh, you
If I remember right.
21 goes. 68 is the
Okay, 68 ends up in the ditch, which is basically 21. That big main comes across there.
Kasuth be in on this one, or we have all the control?
I don't know.
Chris, do we have all the control on this one?
I think
Well,
so.
we have the major control, yeah. I don't know if
But
Cassuth
we won't
County's
have
on the line.
Kasuth on this.
Cassuth said that they're running a little bit late.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. All
You
right.
wanna do a different one?
I mean,
Well, I don't think we can
We
in
all have
case somebody
times.
comes.
Oh, they're timed.
we can open the public hearing maybe and.
Yeah, because she had some questions, so yes.
Sure.
All right. I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for joint DD 68-136 main ditch.
I'll second it.
Motion from Jezebel, second from Derby, to open the public hearing for joint DD 68-136 main ditch and lat 2 ditch. All in favor, say aye.
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 She had some concerns.
yeah.
Did you have concerns over the classification?
No, it's some stuff that needs to be done.
Okay.
Yeah, in the ditch. And we don't have our people here, do we, from Cassuth County?
Tell you what, for the public hearing, we should probably stick to the reclassification, then right after that, we'll have just a little bit of
Yeah,
time.
no, I'll
Then
wait
we
for
can go
you.
back to
Okay,
our
hon.
drainage
I'll
and
go back
we'll
to
take
it.
it then.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
I'm just gonna suggest that.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I'm so used to being in charge.
I don't even know why that chairman thing is by me.
He
Let's
skipped,
just
he
move it
skipped
over.
3 weeks.
He's just so used to being a maniacal little dictator.
Well, he's moving on next week.
Can't help himself.
Yeah, well, that probably means, well, no, I shouldn't say that in public. That I
Bite
should,
your tongue.
probably buy at Sally's because you killed it here before time.
Can't see.
It can't be more than $3.
I'll get the pie. Of course, that's darn
That
good.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's the same situation with the secondary roads. I don't know if we need to explain anything again. You've all heard it.
Carla, yeah. Oh, go ahead. Have you had any submissions of concerns over this?
I have not.
Have not.
Is anyone on the phone?
Anybody on the phone have any concerns?
You probably better identify of what.
Well, yeah, I thought I'd leave it open just so we could kill some time until Kasuth is here, so, yeah, we'll just let him start having at us here.
I suppose we could close and
Yeah, go back to
and
drainage.
wait to vote until Kasuth gets on maybe.
Can we rescind our motion to open the public hearing so we can go back to drainage?
Oh, well, we can, in
Close.
between the approval and the, you can
Let
leave
it
them
be
continuance.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
close the public
You can
hearing.
do a
and then
continuance,
We'll
Bill.
talk drainage.
You don't want to approve it yet because Cassuth isn't on the
Right,
phone.
like I said, in between the public hearing and the approval, we could go back to drainage
Oh.
in the meantime. However you want to do it, Mr. Chair.
Did you hear what AJ said?
What did AJ say?
You could just continue the public hearing later once Cassuth gets on the phone.
Okay,
Just pause it.
okay, we're pausing the public hearing.
Hoping for more comments.
Push it.
And that's, And that's a
Motion.
chairman's decision, right?
A motion to pause the public hearing. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion from John Volk, and a second from Derby to pause the public hearing for joint DD 68-136 main ditch and lot 2 ditch. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and we will go back to number 5. Auditor's office will discuss drainage matters.
I feel like I'm buying it now.
Isn't it weird, all the steps we gotta go through just to talk about something? And your concerns are with the ditch in Cassuth County though, is that what you're,
Yeah, you know, when you cleaned out the ditch just north of our farm, they're going through Gary Larson's, you know where I'm talking about? You did a beautiful job. And then you must have had Kuchenbecker go into Minnesota and clean out that elbow. Those trees got cleaned out. And I think you had Kuchenbecker come in and clean those trees out that were in the elbow.
if
Because
it
it
was
was
in
banking up there really bad, you know, it goes up to Coon Creek eventually, our water. Well, you know, you can clean this out, and if you've got a bank up a couple miles north, it just slows it way down again. But anyways, you must have had somebody come in and clean out that elbow.
well,
with
if it
some of
was
those
in,
trees.
if it was in Minnesota, Minnesota must have had somebody come clean it.
Well, see, we have to pay for so many miles into Minnesota.
Yeah.
And once you get past a certain line, then we pay for half up to Coon Creek. Now, this is all brought up, it was at the courthouse in 1998, my brother was commissioner up there, came to rake to the meeting when they cleaned out Cassuth County there, that creek there, it had never been cleaned out. It was
Yeah.
over a 100-year-old creek, and they cleaned it up, it's beautifully done.
I can remember when that
It
project.
was in 98.
No, not that one, but we cleaned it out in recent history, right, on our side?
Winnebago side,
Yeah.
well, that, ours goes straight north.
Didn't we
From
do a little
Cassuth
work
County, we go
up
straight
there
north.
just a few years ago?
They join up.
Yeah, but we
Down
didn't do anything in the Cassuth side
You
or
didn't
the
do Cassuth.
Yeah.
or Minnesota.
So
But
we've got,
somebody evidently had to come from Minnesota. Well, somebody did that elbow, and Winnebago County would have had to pay for, or Cassuth would have had to pay for part of that.
Well, then you would know, but I wouldn't
Must be
know.
Cassuth.
Yeah, because if it goes into
Yeah, it goes to
Cassuth
the
County
left.
and then goes up,
Yeah.
that's Cassuth.
Yep.
And then we
It goes
didn't have
left.
any,
It's north of Donnie Newman's there,
I was gonna say, we didn't have
That'll
any
be
bill on
Cassuth.
that.
because the line is right there by Corky Zachley's.
Mhm.
But anyway, that was way better. That really helped.
I know it's, seems to be a little more difficult to get things on the Minnesota side done.
Yeah, it's not easy, not easy.
hard to coordinate it anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, are you wanting to hear about the creek in Cassuth County that goes through our farm, and we'll wait for these people to come?
Yeah, because Cassuth, you would have to get with Cassuth
Yeah,
County
because
to
they have
fix
to do
the
some
Cassuth
repairs.
side, yeah.
Okay,
You
Yeah.
let me know.
make a petition with them to, have it cleaned or whatever,
Well, it
and,
isn't that, it's just that they always come in to spray the overgrowth,
yeah.
you know, the volunteer trees
Mhm.
that they all took off. In fact, David took ours out several years before that creek was cleaned and paid for all of it himself.
Yeah.
All those cottonwood trees, he
Yeah.
did it himself. Anyway, then after they cleaned it, then they come like every other year or something and spray it for the volunteer thingies. Well, they're starting pretty good again. Plus, those outlet things, when we had all this snow and the water got rushing, it beat up on the outlet thingies coming in there. They like bent up, and some of them are broke off in half,
Yeah.
and that needs to be repaired. You know, we're taxpayers, we gladly pay for it, we just want it done, that's all.
Yeah.
It's on, the worst is on Dwayne's side, Dwayne David's side,
Okay,
because we share the creek together on part of it.
And I know that, B&W Spring, they do like a 3-year rotation.
Is that what it is?
Yep, that's what they
So
do
it'll be
here, I'm
due
assuming,
before long.
I was gonna
Wow.
say, assuming they do the same thing in
Yeah,
Cassuth.
because they've been keeping it up wonderful.
Yeah, they do a really good job.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know whether Cassuth has the same rotation we have or not, so.
It's 3 years?
Ours is 3 years, but I don't know
Okay.
what Cassuth's
I was
is.
gonna say, we can ask them when they're on the
Yeah.
phone, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
It needs it again, because they're gonna start getting too big for them, and they won't be able to knock them off.
Yeah.
They'll have to go and take them. And that spray's been doing a wonderful job knocking them off.
Is it on there, 9:35?
Yep.
Okay. And we'll move on to 9:35 a.m. Public hearing approval of DD3 main ditch and Lat 8 updated reclassification reports. Yeah, I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for DD3 main ditch reclassification report.
I'll second it.
Motion Derby, motion from Jeswell, and second from Derby to open the public hearing for DD3 main ditch reclassification report. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, sir.
Again, this is just adjustment of the benefits of secondary roads. It's pointed out that they were paying an unfair share of the benefit. And so we agreed with that on several of these districts that include towns. That's when it happened. None of the rest of the benefit points would be changed, just the secondary roads. We're assuming the responsibility and the cost to prepare these, attend the meeting, make copies, whatever it took. So I have a few copies of that if anybody wants to see it.
Is there?
Probably would like one. Yeah.
You would probably like DD5. This is DD3 they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was just
Okay.
combing my hair.
Oh,
Okay,
all right.
thanks.
It's like at being
Keep my
an
hands down,
auction.
I don't want to bid.
Yeah, be
Yeah,
careful.
yeah. When you're at an auction, you don't rub your nose when you're at an auction.
That's right. Sorry.
It's, any comment from the public on the phone? Have you received any?
No.
Concerns from anybody? Well, then I'll, make a motion to close the public hearing for DD3 main ditch Lat 8 updated reclassification report.
I'll second it.
Motion from General, second from Derby to close the public hearing for DD3 main ditch Lat 8 reclassification. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I will make a motion to approve the DD3 main ditch Lat 8 updated reclassification report.
I'll second.
Motion from Jennifer, second from Smith to approve the DD3 main ditch Lat 8 updated reclassification report. All in favor say aye. Aye. All right, now we got another 6 minutes with a humming. We can go to secondary, back to secondary roads. Scott Miner's engineer will discuss secondary road matters.
Yep, morning.
Morning.
You will jump to it. The one thing that I wanted to talk to you about today was the note from Calhoun Burns, our bridge inspection company. If you rewind a few weeks ago, we all talked about the annual overweight all systems permit and how we had a pretty limited number of routes. And so to expand those routes to the entire county, we were going to evaluate the bridges to make sure that they were okay to be used under that permit, an extra 12.5% for 5-axle trucks, typical grain trucks. We had them do it in 2 phases just so that we could keep things moving. So first they were going to do the paved road bridges and then the gravels. The paved road bridges are done now, and so I wanted to share the response from her and see which direction you wanted to go. She says, this is from Julie Redmond, their engineer, bridge rating engineer. Basically, I'll summarize it, and they've reviewed all the paved structures in the county. Please note a couple of the bridges have some significant deck deterioration, and you may want to limit the all systems permit trucks to extend the lives of these structures. She says you can certainly allow them to cross, but they will create more wear and tear on the decks, more patching, more maintenance.
And a quicker deterioration.
Right. These ones that she's pointed out, we've patched several times already. It's part of bridge maintenance, so it's not terribly scary, but it is very costly to do. The last time we patched each one, they were like $40,000 a piece to do some concrete patching.
So there's 2, Scott, is it?
So the 2 that they've specifically marked as allowing heavier axles on all systems permit trucks will accelerate deterioration of the deck. Consider restricting route to extend the life of the structure. There's two bridges she noted that of. The one is 821 NX1, which is by Hogs Back there, the kind of diagonal one on the curves north of Lake Mills. The other one is L5W1. Let me see, L5. That's on the Mill Road south of Buffalo. And then the other, she didn't make that comment.
I'm gonna get your wood tick.
Oh, geez. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The other ones, she didn't make that note, but it's worth mentioning that, you know, there is some increased deterioration of every bridge if we allow heavier loads. So to put it very clearly, either we allow trucks on all these bridges and risk deterioration increase, you know, more rapidly, or we restrict those bridges and leave those routes off the map. I mean, we know that was the decision before, but the way she puts it, it kind of feels a little more real coming from our bridge rating engineer. My recommendation would be to restrict the loads. That's just coming from dollars and cents taking care of bridges.
So put an 80,000 pound restriction on those bridges.
It would be whatever the legal loads were, you know, without the permit.
80,000.
Without the permit,
Without
yep,
the
80,000 on a typical 5-axle semi.
So how would you show that restriction?
Well, it'd be showed as a restriction on the map that you can look up when you get the permit, and there's no notification to the people who already have the permits which roads are or aren't on there. So it's a little bit tricky. We wouldn't post it.
Well,
It's just their responsibility.
It's their
to know.
responsibility and their risk. If they were to get pulled over by a DOT, you know, they have to comply with whatever their permits and registration, all that combined.
wouldn't it be a little less confusing for the public so they know what's coming on, that you would actually post those bridges that, I mean, you can leave the road open to the extra weight, but you know, that bridge is ahead. So at least when they cross it, they know that they're doing something wrong for sure, rather than leaving it to the gray area. So to me, it seems like you should just post the ones that need to be an 80,000 pound limit, just to keep.
What's the signage cost for 2 bridges?
Well, these would be
Is it just 4 signs?
4 signs of the typical, probably the 3 trucks. What does it cost? I want to say the signs are like $75 a piece. The signpost is $100, and some labor to put it in. So let's say $1,000 or $1,200, something like that, to post a bridge.
That way it would, because you know that there ain't gonna be very many people that are gonna go actually on there. They're gonna think that the whole county's open, and they're not gonna go on there and look for the restricted bridge. And if we wanna keep them off of it, it seems, and I really don't wanna post one on the Mill Road. That's gonna directly affect me. But that if it's in, needs to be protected, but I think we should put signage up.
I agree with the signage.
Okay, so if that's the way you want to go, we could leave all the roads except for that 1 mile as unrestricted on the map.
No, you could leave the road there, they just can't cross the bridge. Because
Yeah,
technically I can come out of the Beckman place there with a load of corn, and then if we're going to Christensen, I'll have to go north
yeah.
and to that intersection and go across. But or if one was to so choose, if you're going to drive across a posted bridge, you can read. So therefore, otherwise it leaves gray area, and I could pretend like I was really ignorant.
Sure. Okay. I think that's an option that I haven't really discussed in detail with them, what that sign would look like for numbers. but I can find out.
Continue this.
Probably just note that if when we get the gravels back and we have the same conversation, it might be that same dollar amount times however many bridges that is.
Yeah. And
But once those are fixed eventually, I mean, they're on a plan to be.
Well, a lot of the gravels would be, the ones on, these two on the blacktop, I mean, they might be around for 50 years still.
now the gravel
Okay,
roads,
those are not any that are on a plan for.
No, I mean, keep in mind when these bridges are designed, they're designed for what we think is gonna go over top of them. And, you know, the loads keep getting more and more and more what we designed for, but like Mill Road one, maybe 90s, I don't know. You know, the standards might have been different. So it's not necessarily anything wrong with the bridge as much as it is, you keep increasing what we're throwing over top of it.
the gravel roads, maybe not as quite important to put up the signage because the odds of the traffic going across them are gonna be a lot less. On the Mill Road, there's all kinds of trucks going across there. It's only gonna be a few on the gravel roads, so I can almost, maybe not on the gravels. But we gotta we'll go back to this. We gotta go to 9:45 AM, public hearing and approval of DD5 main ditch reclassification report.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for DD5 main ditch reclassification.
A second.
Motion Derby and second from Smith to open the public hearing for approval of DD5 main ditch reclassification report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, same thing as,
Same thing, another situation where secondary roads was assigned too many benefit points, and this corrects that, gets it to more reasonable number. Flaw in our system that's been corrected, and it's just those districts, a few of the districts that have town in them seem to be the issue, so.
Alright, so there's 85, that is.
That's on the east side.
I'm sure it's nice that we're like primates here picking bugs off each other.
I don't wanna go where Scott was.
And there isn't any of them that are more creepy than a tick.
Did you guys have any questions on the reclass, on what we were doing today?
I'm here to listen and learn.
Okay.
Actually, I could bring it up, I'm not
That's okay.
out on the pewter. It just said you're working on something to make something more fair, and that's what I noted.
Right,
This might be a good place to discuss exactly what you did.
yeah, they're all in
What the question
DD5.
was.
Oh, okay.
So maybe you could do
yeah.
your whole spiel.
Okay, yeah, Scott in secondary roads reviewed reclassifications that we've done and discovered that on several of them where we had small towns involved, secondary roads was assigned, way too many benefit points. It just wasn't a fair distribution of benefit. So we reviewed all those at our expense and came up with a list of ones that we felt should be adjusted. And this report adjusts those. The benefit points on all the rest of the report has not been changed, just secondary roads. The end effect is that they pay less than we had scheduled originally. It ends up still slightly more than the average benefit points, but very little above it. So we did it for several districts, including 5. No expense to the landowners. I would think Scott maybe handled the notice, and then we did the work and presentation.
So part of the thing about the benefit is if you get into a city and you have all paved streets or parking lots, you're getting all runoff. On a county road, you have runoff off the road, but then you have your right-of-way of the ditches that's absorbing the moisture. So
And sometimes actually being a dredge ditch.
Yeah.
So it's a little different from a city street to a county road, how the water is retained or flowing. So that's where the change was.
Instead of it going through the secondary roads budget where the rural would have to absorb it, it'll just be going through the drainage. It's just gonna shift where the money, it really isn't gonna change the expense of anything. it's just where the money comes from.
And there's no cost at this point. This just gets the situation corrected.
The assessment on a drainage repair would be slightly higher for the landowners than before, but then their assessment for secondary roads would be slightly lower, so, because they won't need that money in the budget anymore for their share of the class or the repair in the drainage district.
We're in pretty good shape out there now. I think everything's pretty well done out in our area.
Yeah. You may
I've had a
not
couple
see
issues lately though. A couple people have called with some stuff in DD5, but not by your guys' houses,
I like that.
so.
Thank you for the
Yeah.
clarification.
It's a big drainage district.
It is.
It's a big
A lot of
district.
laterals.
And it's in that area that's all flat out there, right?
Oh, yeah, we have no hills at all.
Yeah.
We want to keep our water.
And no dams built out there yet anyway.
We're
Do you have any questions?
Not really, no, ma'am. I was just thinking, wondering if there was gonna be a lot more tiling or something as far as the drainage end of it.
No.
Yeah,
We
I
just
think
had to tell people what we were doing, to
We
be
should.
transparent, you know, to make sure everybody knew that this was happening and.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I told Scott before, I said, we've got an excellent maintainer on our road now with Young Rockhow. He does a good job out there. We'd just as soon have concrete though, wouldn't we?
Well, and we're looking at paving all the roads.
Oh, yeah, I like that. So you're good man. Get your pocketbook out, buddy.
Right.
It's in that 100-year plan.
What was it?
Scott's got a plan for that.
I'm going to China.
Over the lifetime of a road, a paved road costs 11 times more, is that what it was?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
At least.
It was something like that.
You see
I
those
remember you
gravel-
throwing it out there once.
You see those gravel trucks go by every year, you gotta wonder.
Well, no, yeah, you'd think with all that maintenance going on, but it's still with the initial investment of the pavement and then, you know, it's,
Well, thank you, folks.
all right, yeah, thank you. Any,
Carla, did you have any other?
and anybody on the phone, any comments on DD5?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for DD5 main ditch reclassification.
I'll second.
Motion Derby, second Smith, to close the DD5 main ditch reclassification. All, public hearing, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Must be a special dig.
I'll make a motion to approve DD5 main ditch reclassification report.
I'll second.
Motion Derby and second Smith to approve the DD5 main ditch reclassification report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Now we got a couple minutes again. Back to secondary roads.
If, just so I got my notes right, the ones that she listed as with deck deterioration will post 40 tons or whatever, the sign would be, and then the others leave unposted, is, I'm assuming is what you're thinking.
Yeah, because when I was reading it, there was just the two bridges that you had real concerns for, right?
Yep, and she didn't really say exactly why those and not the others, but
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Well, it would make you assume that the other ones are in a little better shape.
Yeah, yeah, I do know that that one on Mill Road we patched on what felt like about half the deck a couple years ago, so.
Well, and then they did it again.
I
They've
think,
been on that bridge twice.
yeah, 2 years in a row there to,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kinda sad to see that, but.
Yeah, you would have thought it would all just been done once. And it's so weird how they, you know, a little piece here and a piece here, and they were at angles, and
Yeah, I don't know if you've
looking
seen,
at that going,
I don't know,
man, their x-ray machine must be better than my eyes.
yeah, X-ray machine, they do make things like that, but what they use is a pipe or something with a chain on the end, and they just wiggle it back and forth like a snake and listen.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can hear the hollow underneath?
Yes.
Yep.
I personally did that when I graduated from college. I went to work for the DOT, and one of the things they assign you to is bridge deck repair team. And you do the sounding, they called it, dragging this chain.
Yeah.
You get so you can see, and then they actually had us use the small jackhammers and take out the places that need to be repaired, so. Some dirty work for young engineers.
And where it's hollow, it probably busts out easier, so if you're in
Yes.
the wrong spot, it'll just hammer. If you're
Yes,
in a hollow
yes.
spot, it'll break up right away.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm strong on the x-ray machine. I thought it was a little more high-tech than that. Sounds like
You'd
this
think it
works.
would be by now, but
Yeah.
It's like Jeremy witching those,
Yeah.
that wire
Yeah,
too. you
yeah.
know, it worked.
I think that's all on the overweight stuff for now, then we'll figure out what signage we need and then we can update the map. But then the rest of the road and bridges probably won't be reviewed till fall because this is their heavy inspection period, so all their staff is pretty busy with that. So yeah, I think that's all on that.
Okay. Good, because it's 9:55. At 9:55 a.m., public hearing and approval of DD 18 main ditch reclassification report. Oh,
Now that'd be heard.
yeah, I was gonna say,
I'll make a
I'll,
motion to open the public hearing to approve the DD 18 main ditch reclassification report.
I'll second.
motion Smith and second for Derby to open the public hearing for approval of DD 18 main ditch reclassification report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
same situation. Secondary roads was assigned to excessive point benefit. We reviewed it all, accepted the responsibility, made these adjustments. The only benefit points changed are secondary roads, the rest of the parcels are all left unchanged. Like Bill has mentioned, that will step up the cost eventually. No cost at this time, but in the future, secondary roads will pay less than they would have otherwise, and the rest of the parcels pick up that difference.
okay, any comments from the public on the phone? And you receive nothing again, so I'll entertain a motion to close the public.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion Smith and a second for Derby to close the public hearing for DD 18 main ditch reclassification report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I will entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the reclassification report for DD 18 main ditch.
I'll second it.
From Smith and a second from Derby to approve the reclassification report for DD 18 main ditch. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Alrighty. Now we got another 8 minutes to kill.
You must have something else. Scott.
Sure, I can fill a couple minutes.
There we go.
I was gonna tell you in general, we had pretty minimal damage after the rains over the weekend, Friday and through the weekend. I did hear we had 5 inches of rain by Buffalo, by Rice Lake, out of Mountain Valley. We had maybe 2.5 here in town, so it really varied. We spent part of the day hauling rock to some spots where it went over the road or was creeping up on the road, and then we kind of got her whipped and went back to the rock run. So I think as of this morning, they are hauling from Sunnyside to south of Buffalo.
Yeah, I saw several trucks in the way here.
Rape got the worst. There's a part of the road washed out east of Rape. We got like 8 or 9 inches or something.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they're pumping all weekend because of everybody's
You guys
basement's
up there?
flooded. Out at our farm, we got all this water like we had many, many years ago. We haven't flooded like that in years.
Yeah, who was it? Someone else I heard had water
It
in their
was just
basement
terrible.
rake that normally hadn't had it in a long time.
Oh, yeah. So they've been busy pumping. I feel so bad for Louise, the mayor.
Oh, yeah,
She's in charge of it.
yeah.
All the commotion. It's a mess up there. And one road, East Rape, got halfway washed out, a gravel road, gone.
Do you
Came
know
so
about
fast.
that one, Scott?
How far east to Rape?
It's East Rape by Brant's. Brant's up there.
Okay,
You know
out
where
on,
Brant is?
out on 500 there then.
It's on the county line.
Is he on the county line or is he 1 mile south?
I can't remember. I thought it was county line.
Rape or west?
I think it's, if I remember, Brant lives right.
Might be.
You go south of Auspice
Might be.
Farms, or right through Auspice's new buildings there, and then they're another mile or 2.
Yeah, you
east.
might be right on that
So
trail.
it'd be on
But it's East
500.
Rape anyway.
Yeah, it's washed
It's a
out.
mess up
You might
there.
wanna
It's bad.
have someone take a peek at it, I guess.
As soon as you get into Cassuth County, our other farm, oh, there's nothing standing. Of course, we've got a lot of tile, but it's nothing standing. you know, and that's only a mile from our home place.
What was it? Friday morning when it started raining?
It was raining on Friday
Oh, it started
and
before
Saturday.
that.
This came
Was it
Saturday
Thursday?
I
morning
was
at
trying
9
to
o'clock,
shingle, so I know.
the downpour.
Well, I was out at
The
the
big
fertilizer
storm.
plant. We were gonna go out and spray, but weren't gonna go out and start a field until we knew for sure it wasn't gonna rain. But then it started raining. We had 2 tenths of rain out there. And in that same period of time, evidently Rick Huffbar's got one of them electronic gauges at his place, and one of them looked that up, and he did 1.25 inches there. That's how just.
It was really
Within
spotty.
20 minutes.
Yeah, well, yeah, it just,
And a big
within a mile, it was, an inch difference in the amount.
Yeah. It was really funny how that
Yeah.
went. But that wind was terrible coming straight from the east.
Yeah.
We thought we were gonna lose some, bunch of shingles and a building.
I actually
Came so
did
strong.
lose a few.
Yeah, the first part of the rain was on Wednesday night, Thursday. In Forest City, I think there was areas that almost got 2 inches here, but just north of town, there was nothing,
Yeah.
basically.
We were planting.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Buffalo Center got it
North of
earlier.
Forest City,
We were still planting up our way.
Yeah,
They got it like Thursday, well, Larry Grace said they had 1 inch.
yeah, because Larry's was full
Yeah,
out
in a
by
short
his
time.
place, yeah.
Anything else?
All right.
Getting back to your county roads, the A16 that you have redone by our place is wonderful. That
That's
is
one
like
of
the best road and they all know it, so we have all those trucks on there.
It's
It's
good.
loaded.
The shoulders are great. And they
If I
held up.
charge $1 for every truck, I'd be so rich, you guys.
The guys that
That's a nice road.
built that road are the ones we should get every time.
Oh, and then they widened it, put all that on the side, so when I come with my combine, I have no problem. I don't have to head into the
Yeah.
driveway for somebody to pass,
Yeah.
or they ain't go ahead. They can go right beside me, with no problem. It's a nice road. We're lucky to have, and then also we have probably the best driver around for snow removal, Randy.
Yeah.
I should know your name, but I can't come up with it, ma'am.
Carolyn Halverson. We farm right up along the border.
You live just into Cassuth, don't you?
No, we're Winnebago.
You're still Winnebago?
Yeah, Corky Factory is the last one in Winnebago. And our other farms are on the other side of Corky into Kazoo.
Yeah.
But we're in Winnebago
For
with
some
3
reason,
farms.
you guys are just on this side. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, Ernie's place.
Well, we still have a couple minutes to kill.
Other than that, we're taking a few calls about tile problems and our guys are jumping around trying to help out. You know, the normal stuff when you get 5 inches of rain. You got ponds where you haven't had for 3 years because we haven't had any 5-inch rains for 3
Here,
years.
I did see a hole dug in the ditch that was full of water.
Probably by the golf course. There's one.
Yeah, it was by the golf course, yeah.
They were trying to do the guy a favor and put in an intake, and once they got down there, it just gushed. So there's a problem somewhere else. They got Derek Yagi on it.
All right.
I think that's all I have, unless you guys got questions.
No. Questions?
What else can I tell you? Trail crushing is proceeding. They're getting about 3,600 tons a day, so it's going pretty good lately. I think they got maybe close to halfway.
How much do you weigh when you haul those trucks? What are they?
With
What's the
our
weight on the gravel
trucks and pups fully loaded?
Semi.
Yeah, I think we're 80,000.
Is it?
Yeah, the only difference is you just don't have the extended trailer. You've got the gap.
Cassuth County.
Has joined.
All right, well, welcome, gentlemen and ladies.
Good morning.
Morning, Bill.
We will move back to 9:15 a.m. public hearing and approval.
9:25. Get it right.
Or not, oh yeah, I'm looking at the wrong one. There you go.
You want to open the public hearing, Bill?
We already opened it once,
Did you?
then we delayed it. But we,
Wanted to continue.
yeah, so,
Well, we will I'll make a motion to continue the hearing on this side, and somebody second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The hearing's
Who
open.
was that?
On a motion from,
Roger.
Roger.
Stecker.
And I'll second it. Everybody here, aye?
Aye.
All right, we're back in the public hearing for, the joint DD 68-136 main ditch, lat 2 ditch reclassification report.
Do you guys have a full board over there?
We do.
Perfect, we do too as well.
All right, would you wanna go through it, or you want me to, or?
Be my guest
Well,
with
we
my
have,
voice.
we have a resolution that we need to approve.
Yeah, well, as far as the discussion of it, it's just, we're gonna,
Reclassification report,
just,
right?
yeah, it's just taking, secondary roads was getting unfairly assessed for the amount of drainage they were getting. They were getting assessed like they're a parking lot in a city or whatever, when they actually, the road ditches, hold water and also are sometimes, the flow of water. And it was brought up, and then the engineer, from Jacobs Westergaard agreed, and, there's basically no cost to it. They're absorbing the change. We already reclassified these in recent history, and it'll just take a little bit of the assessment of a drainage issue away from secondary roads and put it onto the drainage districts. It's not a huge amount of money, and in a sense, it'll be the same people paying for it. It's just which direction it comes from, whether it's gonna be in the drainage district or paying it to secondary roads.
Yep.
So all we need to do today is accept the report from Westergaard, right?
Yep.
You ready for a motion on that, or you want?
Well, we'll close the public hearing.
Okay, I would make motion to close the public hearing.
And I'll second it.
All those in favor on this side say aye.
Aye.
It's
All those
closed
in
over
favor
here.
of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
It was unanimous here.
That was
Unanimous over here, so now you need a motion.
Yeah, it was Kyle Stecker that made the, yep. And then, I'll make a motion to approve the joint DD 68-136 main ditch, lat 2 ditch reclassification report.
I'll second that.
Stecker second, a motion from General, second from Stecker to approve the reclassification report. All in favor, say aye.
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 All ayes here.
All ayes here.
I think we're done.
Yeah, well,
Thank you, gentlemen.
all right, well, thank you for your support.
Relatively painless.
You're welcome.
All right, yeah,
We'll try her again some other day.
all right, yeah, until the next time I run into you out in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
All
Have a
right.
good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cassuth County.
Has left.
Yeah, we got 10:05.
Yeah. Okay, 10:05 a.m., public hearing and approval of DD 21 main ditch, lat 1, lat 3, lat 4 reclassification report. Or I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for it.
I'll second.
Motion General, Senator Smith, to open the public hearing for DD 21 main ditch reclassification report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, same thing as last time. Does anybody need to hear it over again? Notice.
No.
Did you hear it before?
I didn't.
Are you guys here for DD 47?
Yeah,
Lake
they're
Mills?
for.
Yeah, okay,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Which
we are.
is basically.
We'll explain it more then.
okay.
All right,
We'll tell you then. Try to get all
Perfect,
through all
we'll
these.
wait for that.
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, well, it'll only be 5 minutes by the time we're done.
That's right, you guys are moving through it very quickly.
Yeah, all right,
Anybody ask about this particular one?
Nope.
all right.
Anything there?
Anybody, on the phone, any comments on, DD 21? Hearing none, I will make a motion to close the public hearing for DD 21 reclassification report.
I'll second that.
Motion General, Senator Smith, to close the public hearing for DD 21 reclassification report. All in favor say aye. Aye. I will make a motion to approve the reclassification report for DD 21, main ditch, lat 1, lat 3, lat 4.
I'll second.
Got a motion Jen Vold and a second from Smith to approve the reclassification report for DD 21. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we got 5 minutes to talk about something else again.
We could just explain it to them.
Yeah, I guess we could.
Now.
And basically, all this is, like we explained, same thing we said to Cassuth on the other one, is we're just taking secondary roads as responsibility for the assessments on a drainage issue. We're lowering their assessment, and it'll be applied to the drainage districts because they were getting unfairly assessed on what their benefit from the drainage was.
Gotcha.
And basically, all it does is shift secondary roads from paying that, it goes to the drainage district. But the real money that's gonna change hands is nominal because you guys pay for secondary roads.
Right.
So, I mean, it's going out of the secondary roads end of it, and it'll be applied to your drainage district end of it on the landowners. So really, the cost is almost nothing, I would guess. So it's just a formality we gotta go through to get this out of their budget.
Sure.
But Scott, did you ever put any dollar amounts on the different ones, what it was gonna be saving for each of these districts, or total?
It's only for going forward, so it'd be percentages of the repairs to be done in the future. You know?
So if there's never any
now, yeah.
Right, some of the benefits were, I think, over maybe 14-15% and then back down to 4. So you think like 10% difference for secondary roads on a project that's $1 million is $100,000.
Okay.
So, you know, that's a big deal. If it's like a clean out like DD1 was.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to put it in perspective so that
And DD 47 is such a big district that you take that $10,000 difference or whatever, and it's spread amongst everyone, that it
Divided it
shouldn't make any one parcel go up too much.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said before, it's just changing where it comes from. I mean, in the end, the taxpayers get to pay for everything anyway, so.
Lucky us.
Which, when I got elected to this, I assumed that I was gonna be exempted from all taxes.
That's a bummer, that didn't work out for you?
No, my property taxes went up on my house too. So, well, it's good to see you again.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
it is good to see you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Have you been well?
So I
2 months
ran
ago, I
the
had a knee
numbers for
replaced, so
DD
I'm
47
hobbling a little, but
before the changes and after the changes. There was a $10,000
You did all the therapy.
You would pay
Yes.
$78.15
the
before,
biggest
$78.
decision we made that was
Now
helpful
you would
was
pay
we had
$80.
nurses come into the house instead of going to town
I
every
know.
time for therapy.
So,
And that was
I'm gonna
great.
fight that.
Medicare covers it.
so I did
I
run
remember
it
my
to
dad had a
60,
knee
and
replacement,
nobody's really changed
and
a lot.
he was
There might
retiring
be
at the
some
time.
districts that it
He
did,
said, wow,
but
I'm
on
just
this
going to
one,
coffee,
because
I
there's
don't
so
have
many
to.
people.
Well,
That
he found
helps,
out
yeah.
otherwise.
That's great.
Oh,
Thank
it
you for
makes a
putting
huge
it in
difference.
such dollars, because that helps me
So,
understand.
Right.
it a
I'm
little
glad it's
better.
over.
You can
It's
budget
not
just a little
healing as
better.
fast
Yeah.
as I wanted.
Where did you have it done?
No more free lunches.
Spirit Lake, well, they actually did it in Estiville.
At
Doctors
some
come
point in the year,
from
you're gonna have to cut out.
Spirit Lake
Yes, ma'am.
to Estiville, yeah.
One less road trip we can take down to the old.
Glad to have it done. Just you'll see me hobble when I first stand up, but
That's all right.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
There it is.
what, does that one say 9:45?
It says 10:15.
Or 10 hours, excuse me. I'm all lost here. We're going around in too many
Who's in charge
No, it
here?
doesn't.
Terry's in charge. Where is that chairman thing? I need to slide it over. All right, 10:15 a.m., public hearing and approve for reclassification report for DD 47 main tile and lat 16. Let's
I'll
see,
make the motion to open the public hearing.
I'll second it.
motion from Smith and a second from Derby to open the public hearing for DD 47 main tile, lot 16. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'm assuming that there's nobody online or on the phone that wants to make a comment. Once again, nobody's given any written notices or anything, so I will,
Have you guys come up with any more questions?
Yes, we want to know how you guys can help us budget this $2 increase over the year.
We're on the wrong.
Do you think
We can help with that.
I had someone else that was concerned over $2 for the postage once, and I offered to pay for it for him, so,
Oh, that's great.
Well, that would be great of you.
So that's on recording.
yeah.
I'm putting that down. I'll be back in a year.
I will tell you that he decided he didn't need it, but,
I think we'll make it too.
you'll make it all right,
Yeah, I think we'll be okay.
yeah.
So how did the drainage,
Turned out very nice.
okay, I haven't been down in there to check that out, but
Yeah,
it's
so
working and
It's working wonderfully.
What did they end up doing?
So they put a big T in,
Mhm.
and that hooks to the main tile, and then that line that came down from the city side, they teed that in to the west side of that big T. And then that one that comes from across the road, they had an extra T, so they went to that and put another intake there.
Okay.
So anything that comes out of that tile from underneath the tracks will go right into there and drop into that big tile. And everything that was coming this way from that other tile, down that catch basin or whatever,
Yeah.
that one, like I said, they teed that one in too. So the only above ground that we have is just from the ditch running in there, and it's all been working perfectly.
It's made a huge difference.
Just went down by the nursing home
Yeah,
or
so
whatever.
it was
So who-
impactful.
who did the work, Helgeson?
Yep. Yep.
Helgeson did the work?
Sean, yep.
And who ended up paying for it?
We split it.
Yeah.
We agreed to share some costs.
Okay.
So,
Just kind of, just.
with the city,
being
yeah,
sorry.
the city's
Yeah.
wonderful to work with. We're blessed with
Good.
a good city,
Good,
so.
because that was
Yeah.
a mess.
It was a
Yeah.
mess.
It was not great, so
No.
we're really grateful to have it replaced. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Big
Do you
difference.
still get a lot of debris then, or no?
No, because we
there's
have
been-
that cone shape cover on it, so that pretty much stops it. I haven't even had to
How big
really,
is the
It's like,
36
36?
Yeah. intake, and then the other one is,
I don't know how big this is, but I can show you with my arm.
Like
the other one, the other
As
one's
long
a
as it's working.
16.
Yeah, it's,
We'd love to see a picture of it if you think
Oh,
about
yeah.
it when you get
Randy, will
back.
you take pictures
I can do
sometime?
that, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
that'd
send
be
them.
great.
Yeah.
Turned out
It was
really
just
nice.
a tangled web of who was gonna pay for what.
Oh,
I guess it just goes to show if you have reasonable people, you can figure it out.
Right, I dealt with trying to get that pit cleaned out for years, and then you guys actually did clean it out for us a couple times, and then,
Yeah, it was one of those situations where we knew it was gonna get worse before it was gonna get better, so we were willing to put a little bit of our own investment in it, but again, the city is awesome to work with. We're blessed with a good city, so.
Glad to hear it.
Okay, are we still in the public hearing?
Yes.
Okay, I'll accept the motion to,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
a motion from Smith and a second from Derby to close the public hearing for DD 47 main tile, lot 16. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'll accept the motion to approve the reclassification report.
I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
A motion from Smith and a second from Derby to approve the DD 47 main tile, lot 16 reclassification report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All righty then.
Thank
It was
you.
nice to see you all.
You guys have a good
Have a
day.
great day.
thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask,
Yes.
can we go to the old warrants, just,
Yeah, that's
because Mike couldn't be here for that.
Skip to that. 16.
Oh, yeah, we haven't got there yet. I just turned the page and see I saw it somewhere. You made me think that it was one of the earlier.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so we'll go to number 16, consider for approval canceling of old warrants.
I don't know where it went.
It's 1 and 2, so where's 1? There you go.
There we are.
So you have it in front of you. I didn't know if you had any questions.
Oh, there it is.
So.
know the one. It's not a very big check, though.
It's been 2 years, so.
Yeah.
So when it's written in, oh, that's just the total, okay. No, it's not.
Well, we do, yeah.
It's 108, not 128. Oh, to there, I guess. All right. So why aren't the Visa ones being,
Whether they never got the check, we've already paid the bill, but they
Okay.
must have never gotten the check. So now we're just canceling it.
so you're reissuing checks?
No, we've already paid the bill. They already said they didn't get the check and we just have left it. We've paid the bill,
So there's already been a check reissued.
yes, on that
Just need
one.
to cancel the ones that are floating out
Why
there
it
in
never
limbo
got
somewhere.
voided, I don't know. But normally when that happens, if they don't get a check, I void it. But I don't think on this one I did because there was no way to get anybody to notarize that they never got the check.
I had a problem with some company checks where the envelope, the seal on the envelope was not sealing. And I have to tape the corners of the envelopes. They don't, it's a peel away sticker thing, and it just doesn't stick all the way to the end, and it flops open and the check disappears.
Oh, yep. Yeah.
So I have to tape the corners.
Running through all the machines that pulls it open. or
Oh,
something.
yeah, USPS is pretty hard on envelopes.
So,
All right, well,
I'll make the motion to approve canceling of old warrants.
I'll second it. Motion from Smith and second from Shenvold to approve canceling of old warrants. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. And we'll move to open forum.
That's for Mr. Derby.
and you didn't have any questions on claims, did you? Anybody?
No. Why do we have to keep paying bills?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, that's
Get my feet under me. Sorry.
You were here a long time.
Yeah, too much setting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, thank you.
Good seeing you.
Be right.
I'll just take care of 17 then.
Consider for approval semi-monthly county claims.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion Derby, second from Smith to approve the semi-monthly county claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there anything for public forum? We already took care of that.
There's a claim that I want you to look at before you
Stan,
That's on the semi-monthly county claims, or,
Yeah,
Oh,
so we shouldn't have approved them yet?
yeah, maybe.
just don't let him sign it yet.
Is there one out in here in particular that you,
Yeah, there's a big sticky note on the front of it.
oh, okay.
It'll stand out.
Yeah.
how did we handle the funds on that then, for that Diamond Joe casino event? Did she?
She had it all covered.
She brought them all into the treasurer yesterday and then Chris wrote a check for it.
Okay, so she brought all
She had sponsors.
the funds in. Yeah, I know that, I just didn't know
Yeah.
that she brought it in. And
It's a full room. So you're saying this one would require the amendment?
Yeah, and I just didn't know if you wanted to pay it before the amendment was finished, or if you wanted to wait till the amendment was finished. It's up to you, however you want to handle it. I just,
So overall budget, that would put them over?
as of right now, but the budget amendment will make it fine.
It's the end of the month.
Didn't know you,
Is the external auditor gonna have a problem with that, do you think, or do you think?
probably not. I
Probably
just wanted to see how you guys wanted to handle it. Especially since it's in the same month, because the budget amendment will go through on May 30th, so it'll.
We
I
know the
can't-
money's available.
Yes,
through the
and I
ARPA.
can't imagine, because it's in the month, same month that she'll say anything. I just,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's kind of a, like,
If we were struggling to find the money somewhere, it'd be different, but
Right.
since the ARPA money's there to
yeah,
pay
it's,
for it.
I mean, it should be okay. It's just one of
The
those
money,
things
the money's
where
there, it's just not.
I wanted you to be the ones to say, yes, go ahead, not me.
Basically, the funds are there, it
That's
just
our
hasn't been
motion.
notarized yet or whatever, or approved.
And I'm sorry, I didn't catch who made the motion and seconded.
I did.
You made the motion?
She seconded.
Okay, thank you.
So we got 1.19 million.
Is there, let's just go with it.
That's all. of it,
This
yeah.
is all, this is all.
No, we did vote.
We voted.
We did vote to approve the claims.
But he hasn't
and
signed it yet.
After the fact, we decided this one would be okay, and we'll take all responsibility and jail time that comes with it.
Sure.
And, but I assume it needs to be stamped.
Did we finish open forum? Is that all you had?
Yep, that's all I had.
Okay, discuss with possible action, public health parking agreement.
So basically, I just did a model form of parking agreements I found, and it would be a shared parking agreement between United Methodist Church and the Winnebago County. They would be allowed to, or we would be allowed to use their parking lot up to 6 spots within their parking lot. Doesn't identify which ones, just up to 6 spots during the days we are open. And they would be allowed to use our parking lot for overflow nights and weekends. So there would be no money exchanged, there would be no shared costs involved on either of ours. We'd each be responsible for our own parking lots. I just wanted to put this on the agenda so you can discuss it, see any, the indemnification is gonna be up to the county attorney to put in there what she thinks should be in there. Some of this needs to be just eliminated, just some of the explanation that I took out, some of it's still in there. Needs to be cleaned up a little bit. So Appendix A would be their parking lot. We get to, lease in return for Appendix B, where they would use our parking lot in exchange. We've done this for years, it's just never been in writing. And since we have a Board of Adjustment meeting on Thursday for the new project, we're gonna be short some parking spots that we have to account for to make them more sellable to the Board of Adjustment of Forest City.
So you're gonna present this to, representatives from the United Methodist Church for their approval?
Yeah, it probably won't be approved between now and Thursday, but at least the Board of Adjustment will have something to look at, that this is what we're working on anyway. And then, once they make their action or inaction, it would go on to the city of Fort City after the first of the month. So we would have probably till then to get it in place.
So the possible action is for us to just approve this?
Well, it's more give Kelsey direction, is this what we want? And she would have to probably go through it.
We're not approving the actual agreement, we're just
It's
approving
more
the.
just,
Go ahead.
we're just, you know, looking at it and say, yeah, this is probably a good start.
Yeah. So we would need a motion to go ahead with the finalizing of the agreement.
Entering into an agreement
Entering
with,
into an agreement.
with the United Methodist Church, with details to follow through the county attorney, United Methodist Church, and then it'd come back to us for final approval.
All right, is that your motion then?
Yes.
I'll second.
Motion Derby, second from Smith to go ahead with the agreement for parking between Public Health and the United Methodist Church. As stated, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
What has to happen on Thursday then? What has to happen on Thursday then? What,
We
who all
present
is?
to the Board of Adjustment. I'm going, Carl's going, the architects are going.
Yep.
And this is the way we're gonna get around not having enough official parking spots.
Right, we've always had an agreement with them, we've always used their parking lot, but we just were
Never had
respectful for if they have a big funeral or wedding
Yeah.
during the day, we try not to utilize their parking lot. Same with, they have a big event during the day, they try not to use our parking lot.
Yeah.
It's always been a good relationship.
Hopefully, you know, probably isn't that many times all the parking spots on our property are used anyway.
Right. That's the other thing, we'll try and convince them that we don't have everybody there all at once.
No, usually not. Might be the few times that hopefully it doesn't coincide with a big funeral or something. And if so, we'll have to park somewhere else, walk. All right, is there anything else that we seem to have missed or means we're jumping all over the place? Looks like we got everything. And I'll say that we are adjourned.